I built this gaming PC to show you how good budget gaming PCs are. It cost me $457.58. Now it has 6 cores, it's upgradable, has an RTX graphics card, and on top of all that, it looks pretty freaking good. I'll be going over all the parts that make up this computer build, putting it together, and then I'll show you the gaming benchmarks from this bad boy. Starting off this build is an AM4 fan favorite, the Ryzen 5 3600. Now I scored this good old CPU for $50 on my local marketplace, which is a pretty good deal. At the time of making this video, they're now selling for around $70, but since this gaming PC is built on the AM4 platform, you have a lot of different CPUs to choose from. If you don't get this Ryzen 5 3600, I would recommend at least the Ryzen 5 2600, and you can go all the way up to like the Ryzen 7 5800X 3D. So putting this gaming computer together took some time to source the parts and ensure that I was getting good deals on them. And if you don't want to do that, I'm actually selling this gaming computer right now. As you know, I flip my computers for profit, and this one is listed on Jawa. Now before you get mad, this is how I make money. So if you don't like that, then leave me a comment down below. Now Jawa is actually sponsoring this video, and if you're looking to buy a gaming PC or sell one of your own, or even your old computer parts, then Jawa.gg is the place to do it. They offer a ton of variety when it comes to custom gaming computers, and they're all built by people like you and me. They have a ton of awesome verified sellers on their platform, so you know your money is safe with their purchase. Now I've actually been selling some of my old computer parts on there, and now I'm trying to sell my gaming PCs, and it's been a great place to do it. And I've also bought a CPU from them in the past. It was like an i5, I think 9400F for like 40 bucks. So whether you're a beginner gamer or an experienced PC builder turned PC flipper, then Jawa is the place to be, and you can check them out with the link in the description. Thank you, Jawa. And now let's talk about the motherboard that's in this computer build. I'm pairing our CPU with this MSI B550A Pro motherboard, this 16GB kit of RAM clocked at 3200 MHz, and this MSI Spatium 512GB NVMe SSD. The motherboard was scored for a pretty decent deal, as well as the RAM and SSD, and all those 3 components have actually gone up in price pretty significantly. But luckily, your boy is pretty good at sniping them deals up. To cool the CPU, I went with a great budget option. It's the ID Cooling SE214XT ARGB. It's 120mm ARGB, and it does a damn good job at keeping the Ryzen 5 nice and cool. Now, if you've seen one of my recent PC flipping videos, you know I'm gonna start using these good old glass cases, or fish tank style case. Anyways, that's what I went with. It's a DIY PC Q10 ARGB. It comes pre-installed with 4 addressable RGB fans and a nice little light strip on the front of the case. Now, building in these dual chamber cases is so easy. There's a ton of room in the front for getting both your hands up in there, and especially in the back for cable management. Now, powering this budget gaming PC is a Thermaltake Smart 600W 80+ Gold unit. Now it has the good old barbecue special cables, but it doesn't matter because I added some all black cable extensions. As I said in the beginning of the video, has an RTX graphics card. I was able to score this MSI RTX 2060 Gaming Z model. I got it on eBay for $139.43. And honestly, that's actually pretty close to what you can buy it for right now. So it's not a super crazy deal or anything. Now that you know all the parts that make up this gaming computer, let's quickly put it together. And then I'll show you the gaming benchmarks in games like Warzone and Fortnite. Here's the completed build. It cost me $457.58. Now, if you see it on Jawa and you're like, oh, this guy's a scammer, just think, they take fees. It also takes time to find all the parts, put it together, test it out, ship it, and then also provide customer support. Anyways, let's look at those gaming benchmarks. Starting us off in Warzone, I played Resurgence and I tested the game at 1080p with the balanced settings preset. I remember in one of my videos I said Warzone sucked and it was super boring. I still feel the same about it, but Resurgence is way better than their normal battle royale mode. The balanced preset honestly is pretty balanced. I mean, the game looks good and performs good. We achieved an average of 127 FPS with a 1% low of 96. In Apex Legends, I tested the game at 1080p with high texture settings, and then the shadow and lighting settings were either set to off or medium. I played in a control match, so FPS numbers might be slightly different in an actual BR lobby, but this PC averaged 183 FPS with a 1% low of 121. Our next title is of course good old Fortnite. You can't benchmark a computer and not test this game out. I ran it at 1080p with performance mode, 100% 3D res scale, far view distance, and everything else on low. It's safe to say if you want to play Fortnite on this computer, you will be good. It achieved a 257 FPS average with a 1% low of 51. I do recommend capping the FPS, it might help with better 1% lows, but I left it at unlimited just for testing. If you know a better way of testing this game out, let me know in the comments. I always take feedback. Now the last few benchmarks are GTA 5, Forza Horizon 5, and Cyberpunk. GTA 5 I ran it at 1080p with the highest settings, and it scored an average FPS of 131 with a 1% low of 86. In Forza Horizon 5, I let the in-game benchmark run at the high settings preset, and with that we achieved a 71 FPS average with a 1% low of 64. Now the last and final game I benchmarked was Cyberpunk. I set it to 1080p with the Ultra preset, and I just let it run the in-game little benchmark, and we got an average FPS of 74 with a 1% low of 48. This gaming computer performs pretty good for the money, and it would even be capable of gaming at 1440p. Now if you want to try to replicate this build, I will have all the parts linked down below, as well as a link to my Jawa account where it's listed for sale. If you enjoyed this budget build, then you'll enjoy this video where I put an RTX 3060 inside of a Dell Optiplex. Anyways, hope you have a good day. Subscribe for more content like this.